Here on the Domino's postgame report, I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. Chuck, a frustrating one today. For probably about 14 minutes, you played lights out with one of the best teams in the region. But for the 14 minutes where you weren't lights out, failed to make all but one field goal. Break down the successes, but also the struggles, including a 6-minute scoring drought to end this contest.
Well, first of all, and it's sort of bizarre because I'm talking to the team after the game, and they look like they're really struggling, hurt, all that, and I just look at it differently. I felt like we've got at times out there 4 and 5 first-year players here on the court. Catawba played no freshmen, no sophomores, 1 junior, and the rest seniors. So I mean, there's a big difference in terms of experience, and for us to be in a situation where we get down, we're down big, and yet we fight and scrap, and what is it, 66-61
Yes.
late in the second. I was very pleased with the response to the adversity we were facing. Catawba, to be honest, did what we would hope they would do. They came in there and took high-volume threes. Had our contests been better, especially the first half, I think we would have been more impactful. But generally speaking, they shoot 37 from the field. I'll take that every night. There was some positives in this game for me. However, having said all that, the reality is that when we came out of that timeout down 5 at 66-61, our follow-through and response, the connection between, you have a coaching staff that has a job to do, and then you have a job that players have to do. And for it to be a really harmonious kind of union, everybody's got to do their job correctly. And we struggle today. I don't want to say there's a disconnect, but we struggle today to go from what we're saying we want to do coming out of huddles, or what we're wanting to do on the floor versus their switching defense, and what we actually did. So the breakdown lies with our inability to execute in that pressurized situation. I think we learn from it. Hopefully, if we face this kind of situation again, we'll execute better. Hopefully, but like I said, Kev, I mean, I guess I'm just I guess this season, maybe I've really lost my mind. Maybe I have, but I'm like really upbeat. I'm very upbeat.
Well, I
saw Dima Bykoff woke back up and was a much more like involved part of things. Caleb Wallace continues to evolve. I don't know. Maybe it's me. It's a loss, yes, but I saw some positive things in this game today.
Well, you faced a Catawba team that has been held below 80 all of 2 times this year. They are the second highest scoring team in the league. They're top 15 in the country. You limit them to 74.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you said that, because that's the kind of stuff I'm seeing that I'm thinking there's some good takeaway here. There's some good takeaway here. So I didn't mean to interrupt, Kev.
But it's also frustrating when it is right there for the taking.
Yeah.
When you've battled back for potentially the biggest comeback in school history, got within 5.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say you hold Catawba to 8 over the final, call it 6 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fair to potentially expect that you could score 13 in that span to also draw.
There was I hate to say disconnect. There was a disconnect between what we wanted to do to deal with their defensive strategy and what we actually did. Those disconnects, despite the fact that Catawba was struggling to score, they would score and we would not provide an answer point. They would score, again, we would not provide an answer point. And that ability to go and answer and keep game pressure on is a big important issue in this game. I think, again, I can't say I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, Cap. I would like to think that when we're at the point when we're junior, senior heavy, I mean, we got one senior, and guess what? He ain't here today.
Yeah.
He ain't here today. He's sick. So when we get to the point where we're junior, senior heavy, I like to think we'll be able to do the same kind of things as we saw their senior senior team do today.
Is it fair to call this game a microcosm of this season where you do a lot right and you're happy about a lot of the result, except for one or two things that ultimately end up costing you?
I do think that's fair. I do. I do. You know, I guess, you know, there's only one person that sits in the seat I sit in related to this program as head coach, and I continue to try to see, you know, the silver lining in these things, because I know that we have some pieces. I know we have some legitimate pieces. I know we have some legitimate potential, and I'm very happy about the present, and I'm extremely happy about the future. So I choose to take away the most positive things and know that we can build on the things that did impact us. Are fixable. They're correctable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that, and you see for yourself, Catawba, pound for pound, is one of the most impressive teams in this region. You know, they're very big. They're very athletic. They play a really big line, you know. And we play them even the second half. Keep this in mind, Kev. We play them even the second half. E.J. Bush, who came out like a barnstormer, only plays the first 5 minutes of the first half and doesn't play again the first half. Bryant Thomas gets in foul trouble. So when we have those guys able to play the second half, it's even Stevens. So I think we dug ourselves a bit of a hole the first half. But, I mean, you look up there and you got Trey Smith, true freshman on the floor. Caleb Wallace, true freshman on the floor. Zaylen Peeler, a first-year sophomore on the floor at the same time. And we really had no other choices. I mean, that's who had to be on the floor. And that was really challenging for those guys.
Let's focus on Caleb Wallace, a career-high 17, and doing some things. You talk about the silver lining. Has the potential to be a terror for 4 years, especially with what you're seeing here of late. What sticks out to you about what he's done now? This is back-to-back-to-back double-digit games in his freshman season, and 4 on the plus side of 10 in the last 6.
I mean, you see it for yourself. I mean, Catawba is during this stretch where he's sort of emerging. Catawba is, I think, fair to say that the biggest, most physical, most athletic team out there that he's played this kind of minute against, and he's incredibly efficient overall. 60% from the 3, 55 from the 2 rebounds. 3 steals, a block, you know, total 17. I mean, I think it's fair to say that he just gets more comfortable, and to say that I'm excited about the future is an understatement. With him, I love his attitude. He's really bought in. I challenge him to break, man. I need you to be all in. If you'll trust me and jump on this thing, you're gonna like where we go. And I think it's fair to say that's exactly what he's done.
Turn your attention to 3 straight road games before you finish the year against Newberry here inside of Holt. What do you have to do to finish the year strong, still with an outside chance of making the tournament?
Well, I mean, our focus is not on anything but the next game. You know, the next game is at Tusculum, and really it's not even that. It's on our next practice. So, you know, our focus is trying to get in here on Monday, find a way to build on the things that we learned from today, and prepare in such a way to continue to build our practice habits, continue to build our preparation, and see if we can put together a performance on Wednesday worthy of a win. I mean, we obviously in that rivalry game we beat them early this series in here. You know, we know that they are really, really good, and it'll be tough there, but I think we are better right now than when we played in the first half.
Chuck, pleasure as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Cap.
That's Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. Quickly around the South Atlantic Conference before we wrap things up.